One of the common misconceptions, especially with forensic anthropology and TV, is that forensic anthropologists are detectives. They solve crimes, which they don't really solve crimes. What forensic anthropologists do is they become expert witnesses in assisting with investigations. This is the beautiful place where science and the scientific method is utilized in court. So the point of forensic anthropologists is consulted in the crime scene is when the soft tissue can no longer help with identification of an individual. They're invited when the preliminary investigators recognize a need for a forensic anthropologist. This need is based off of their assessment. So they're looking at maybe decomposition of an individual. They've been dead for some time and it's hard to figure out who they are, or there has been other factors at play. Once there's no longer any soft tissue, there's no longer any of the usual methods of identifying an individual, what we look at are skeletal remains. And in your skeletal system, there are markers of who you are: biological sex, age of descendant, stature. Forensic anthropologists can look at certain skeletal features and be like, this person was between the ages of 40 and 50, or this person was in their early 20s. And these clues really help investigators narrow down who that individual may have been. After that, what we try to figure out is cause of death and manner of death. So we look at markers on the skeleton that can reveal clues about trauma. Is there a fracture? And then when we look at that fracture, we have to figure out, okay, is that fracture something that happened before death, or did it happen right at the time of death, what we call perimortem? Or was it an accident that happened after the person had died? Maybe it got trampled over by some wildlife and the bones break. So knowing when that trauma occurred can really assist in investigations. A lot of times in crimes, people think they can get rid of the evidence by burning a body or using chemicals to get rid of the body, which does get rid of some of the evidence, but not the evidence a forensic anthropologist can use with helping positively identify an individual. For example, if I was to analyze a skull that had a gunshot wound where the entry wound was in the back of the skull and the exit wound was in the front of the skull, this was probably not a natural cause, or it was probably not a suicide. So it rules out some options and helps, again, narrow in what may have happened in this crime scene. Another part of this ethics comes with this intersection of that objectivity with this is a person. There's a humanity to this. This was someone's mother, this was someone's sister, this was someone's father. To be able to keep that in balance sometimes can be a very tricky place to navigate. And it involves critical thinking, being able to see layers in an investigation. At SDSU, we help students to be able to critically think about such things, to be able to understand things past that initial surface, to look at the layers underneath it and what else it may hold. As a very prominent forensic anthropologist, Dr. Clyde Snow says, bones make great witnesses. They speak softly, but they never forget and they never lie.